Okay, we will call this Agenda and Priorities meeting to order for May the 1st. And I will ask Councillor Bates to give the land acknowledgement, please.
The town of Innisfail acknowledges that we are meeting on Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis and Inuit, who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
All right, thank you. And we'll move into 2.1. Any additions or deletions?
Yes, Council. 3.3, budget video, please.
All right, thank you. Can I please have someone make a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
I'll make that motion, Mayor Barclay.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Messaros. All in favor? Okay, we'll move into 3.1, the Parkland Foundation 2022 audited financial statements.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barclay. So Parkland Foundation is mandated to operate under the Alberta Housing Act and related legislation and regulations. Its primary purpose is to administer and maintain a portfolio of comfortable and affordable housing rental units for the benefits of citizens whom various social housing programs are targeted. So in 2022, Matrix Group LLP, I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but was used by Parkland Foundation for their annual audit. The Matrix Group is an independent firm of chartered professional accountants who was appointed by the board to audit their financial statements and report directly to them. In the opinion of Matrix Group LLP, the financial statements attached are presented fairly in all material respects and show the financial position of the foundation as of December 31st, 2022, and the results of its operation and the changes in its net assets and cash flows for the year, then ended in accordance with the Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit organizations. So their report is attached for your review, and included in the 2022 audited financial statements are their independent auditor's report, as well as an accountant's report, statement of financial position, statement of operations, their statement of changes in net assets, statement of cash flows, and notes to the financial statements. So I am looking for a motion that Council accepts Parkland Foundation's 2022 audited financial statements as information.
All right, thank you. Could I please have someone make that motion?
I'd make that motion, Mayor Barclay, that Council accepts the Parkland Foundation's 2022 audited financial statements as information.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions, discussion? No? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried, thank you. And we will move into 3.2, the Wayfinding Phase 3 review with Director Kennedy.
Yep. Thanks, Mayor Barclay. So yeah, back in February, we did approve the contract for the Wayfinding third phase. Within this project, we are doing 3 primary signs, 11 secondary signs, and 3 tertiary signs for this year. We thought we'd just take an opportunity to show council, I guess, where we're putting these primary signs, because they are significant signs, and we want them in locations that we feel are going to be best represented in areas of traffic flow, as well as just giving information for the town. So starting with Napoleon Sports Field, so you can see there we are putting it next to the power pedestal by the new outdoor rink. That's also where the new trail, where we'll be paving the new trail this year. So nice intersection location, I think, where a lot of people will be parking. So that's the first location. Centennial Park. This location is by where we put the porta potties during the winter time. So that shack there. So just off of the parking lot. Again, information facing the parking lot for people coming off the parking lot. Third location for the last sign is at the McDonald's. So this one, we thought, just trying to get some information over onto the east side of town in regards to what options we have in town, as well as what our trails look like. Just provides them with a bit of information for the foot traffic that moves within that area as well. We have here just a proof of the preliminary sign that we plan on putting in. So we have made some revisions to this since I did the report. But what it does have is on the left-hand side, this is going to be a removable section, so it'll be behind a piece of plexiglass where we can put either, here we have park rules, which we'll be putting in over in Centennial Park. Our ideas for over by the McDonald's area is maybe different flyers for when we have events coming up, maybe even an events calendar put in behind there, but it's all interchangeable. So maybe every 3 months we can change the information, or if we have some stuff needed to be posted, it gives us that flexibility to do that as well. One of the new added revisions that we've had since this change is we are going to put in a section of the Trans-Canada Trail. So we'll put in a map within there that shows how the Trans-Canada Trails comes throughout town. So I think that'll be a nice add-on as well. And we'll also be providing some information on a QR code on the sign as well, which they'll be able to scan, and then that'll actually bring up a map. So that'll be on your phone and gives you some more information as well. So nice information signs, as well as there's a little shelter over top there you can see that provides a bit of shade as well. So yeah, just looking for some feedback from council on what you think.
Okay, does anybody have any comments? Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Yes, through to Director Kennedy. On the age-friendly committee, there's been some discussion. We've got a draft action plan now that's been approved by the committee, which will be forthcoming to council for final resolution. And part of that, there was a discussion around when we become an age-friendly community, having some kind of sign designation to say Innisfail's a age-friendly community. I guess the question that I have, it's a little premature to do that now with these signs, because this looks like, you know, the horse is out of the barn here. But how difficult would it be down the road to add like another sign underneath, or a separate sign to, I don't want to get out in front of the committee, but I just want to give a heads up that will be coming forth. So, but it would be nice to tie it into this signage here, because it's so more of a comment, Mayor Barclay.
Okay.
Is that doable?
I guess it depends on what the committee's looking for and how we can incorporate it. So yeah, we just need some more information to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The committee will come to council
Yeah.
with the plan, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that, you know, I'd hate to miss the opportunity if this is where the sign's going to go at our entrance signs, that there's room to put a 12 by 8 foot sign that's anywhere age-friendly,
Right.
for age-friendly community. Thank you.
Director Kennedy, is there any, a little bit outside the scope of this, but is there any, I guess, budget available or thoughts about doing the big sign in Centennial Park, the Town of Innisfail sign?
So that's the Rotary?
The big, well, it's actually, the big one is actually the Town of Innisfail sign.
Okay.
It's not a Rotary sign. It was part of the Rotary project when it was
Okay.
done with the cookhouse in 2005, but the sign is actually the Town of Innisfail sign acknowledging, but I think it was all done like within a grant at that time. So it just looks a little decrepit, and
Yep. I guess, it isn't, we didn't have it as part of this, but maybe we can include it. I could take that information and put it in when we do our update to our report in regards to our recreation. And
yeah, the other signs I believe are Rotaries, like by the cookhouse, and there's another, like there's up by the trail and stuff, but like the sign is even a bit lopsided now because the one side is sunk a little bit, but I know I keep saying I can connect you with somebody that installed those, and hasn't happened yet, but just, you know, it's so large and you drive in there and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
the lettering's all peeled off and stuff, so. Anyway, just a thought, but this other stuff looks great, and I'm looking forward to seeing those. And so are the secondary signs, like, are they going around the trail and places like that, or?
Yeah, so the secondary signs will be placed kind of at intersections throughout the trail. So one loop going around, obviously, Napoleon, so the arenas. Another one, we've got some going around Napoleon, as well as the tertiary. The tertiary are more the smaller ones with just an arrow with a distance on them. We only have 3 of those right now, so we're just going to try it out. Plan is obviously for the next phase is to look at how do we keep extending those distances and giving them markers. And then we also have 3 going around the arena, or the pool, sorry, the pool one. Yep.
No, that's great, and looking forward to seeing these getting installed. So, Councillor Bates?
Yeah, I believe Councillor Harrison asked some time ago, are we getting that sign repaired on the C&E trail at the same time as we do the next signs? Or?
Yep, and so we waited until we had these guys in place, so we are getting a price from them. Yep.
Okay. My own personal feeling, just looking at when it was still there damaged, probably a local welding shop could fix it, but just a thought.
Okay, anything else? No? Could I please have someone then make the motion that we accept this report as information?
Mayor
Councillor
Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Kate, thank you. All in favor? All right, carried. And we'll move on to 3.3, budget video with
Okay, thank you, Mayor Barclay. So administration has talked about producing a video about the town's budget for a number of years. But in light of the events over the past few years, that project has been shelved. So in early 2023, we did decide to proceed with the project. After some preliminary research, we found out that our current web administrator, 212 Creative, has the ability to produce animated videos. So in January, we did initiate that work. So after some internal discussions, we determined to focus on the process of creating the budget rather than featuring the highlights of the current budget. The budget process did not change from year to year, so by using this topic as the basis of the video, it extends the shelf life of the product. Essentially, the content never goes stale. So in order to make the content more enjoyable, we actually wrote a script with a traditional storyline. So the hope is that viewers will view the entire video to see the resolution of the story. Our story's main character is a boy named Iggy, who learns about all the steps taken by the town in creating its annual budget. After the project was completed, we then realized that this character could become a platform for providing other information to residents. And so the opportunity exists to extend this into an ongoing series featuring the same characters. So we really hope that you guys enjoy it.
My name's Iggy, and I'm from Innisfail, Alberta. Last year when I was in grade 4, I'm in grade 5 now, so I'm way more mature. Anyway, I wanted a dog, so I asked my dad. He said that if I got an A+ in school, he would buy me one. Then he said something about flying pigs to my mom, but I told him I just wanted a dog, and it didn't have to fly. I told my teacher that I wanted to do a project on monsters, but she said I had to do a project on how a town makes a budget. That didn't sound like much fun, but I really wanted a dog. So my mom drove me to the library to get some books. I found some, but I didn't really get what they were saying. So the library lady said I should call the town office and ask them. That was a great idea. So that's exactly what I did. When I called the town office, they let me talk to a lady who said she was a director. I thought that was cool because I like movies, especially movies about monsters. But she said she wasn't that kind of a director. She called herself a director of corporate services, whatever that means. She told me that the town has a limited amount of money to work with each year, and most of this comes from property taxes. I didn't get what she was saying, so she told me it was like getting an allowance. The towns basically get an allowance from the people who live there. And then her and her other workers make a plan on how they're going to spend it. Some of the money gets spent on buildings and stuff. That's called a capital budget. And some get spent on bills, like the ones my mom pays. The town has bills just like my parents. The director lady said that was only the first part of making the budget. Once her and her other people were done, it had to go to the elected officials. They're called the council, and they debate about the budget. She called it debating, but it sounded more like arguing to me. My mom and dad call that discussing. Anyway, after the council reviews and debates, they agree on any changes they want. Then they vote on it, and the debating is done. The director lady said that she starts working on the budget around the time I have to go back to school in the fall. But the budget doesn't get voted on until just before Christmas break. It seems like there's a lot of time spent discussing and debating. I asked why it took so long, and she said that there are a lot of decisions and a lot of rules to making a budget. She said the town can't use more money than it gets, just like when I use all my allowance. Once my piggy bank is empty, there's no more money. She also said some people talk about a thing called a deficit, where you spend more allowance than you get. I think that sounds great. But she said towns aren't allowed to do that, so the money they spend in the budget has to be the same as the allowance they get. My dad gives me allowance, but the town gets its allowance from the people who live in the town. She called this property taxes, which is something I always hear my dad talking about. My dad always says taxes are scarier than monsters, but I don't think so. I've never seen anyone get scared at a movie about taxes. The director lady also said the town saves up money called reserves. She said it's kind of like saving money in an extra piggy bank for when stuff breaks. Stuff like sewers and pipes. My dad always yells when stuff breaks, so I think he needs some reserves. That was all the questions I had, so I said bye to the lady from the town. Then I sat down to write my report. It took a long time, and I had to work really hard to think of all the things the director lady talked about. But I kept thinking about my dog, so I kept going until my report was done. Basically, my report went like this. The director makes a plan on how the town will spend its allowance. This happens in the fall. They can only spend what they have, and they put some towards building stuff, some towards paying for things they need, and some into a reserve. She talks about it for a few weeks with her other workers until they agree. Then they give it to council, and the council debates. This happens around the time of year when it snows for the first time. When council agrees, they vote on the budget. This is usually right before Christmas. The next year, around the time summer holidays start, the town collects taxes so they can do all the things they agreed to do in the budget. And that's it. It's actually not that hard to understand. Anyway, when I got my report back, I was nervous. I really wanted a dog, so I was afraid to look at my mark. I got an A. Plus, I showed my dad. He got real pale, but he said it was because he was so happy. Anyway, now I have a new best friend. And I know how budgets work, too.
I had the same response when I said I want another dog when pigs fly. But so, comments? Is there more coming, Director Vickers? Like, is this kind of step one, and then maybe step two would be kind of breaking down the budget a little bit? And
Well, that was not the thought
Okay.
right now, but if that is council's direction they would like, then absolutely. But the thought would be maybe this character could be on when it snows, or for events, or how to educate the public in a funnier way, maybe. But any feedback you guys have would be great. This has not gone out to the public yet. This
Okay.
is kind of the first time
Well,
anyone
it just
else
did
is-
today.
Yeah, really seeing it. Yeah.
Councillor Messaros?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, all through to Director Vickers and team. I think that this is a great video. We do a lot of videos at my workplace, and I don't know, we use Beyond. Is it Beyond that you guys used, or?
I
You
don't know. I'm
Okay.
not sure. We went through 212 Creative, so
Okay.
I'm not sure what they used.
And it sounds like you have a voice actor, like you hired a voice actor, and I think that makes it super lively. I like the approach and the angle, so it's great for kids, but it's also great maybe for some of us who need some kind of explanation at that level, but because it's done from a child's point of view, it's not embarrassing for those of us who might not understand all of the ins and outs of it. I think it's fantastic. I like the idea of expanding into more of a series, and yeah, great job.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Dunham?
I thought it was awesome. Having worked in this field for a number of years, I really liked how it was scripted. It's very approachable. To mirror what Councillor Messaros said, I think you've allowed the information to come across in a way that people won't feel silly if they don't understand it. And like I said, it's very approachable. I think it's adorable, and I think, yeah, you've kind of created something. But I think what would be really cool is if maybe they had a little sister or something to make sure that we have both genders, or, well, not genders, but yeah, that we have all bases crossed, because that might come up. But yeah, very, very well done.
Councillor Bates?
No, I think it was great. How do you intend to release it, or is it going to just be on the website, or?
Mayor Barclay, City Councillor Bates, I don't think we've discussed on the release and how that's going to look yet, but once council has kind of given its seal of approval, then we'll sit later this week and hopefully release it this week, though, if council's good with it.
Yeah, go for it. Wasn't your voiceover, right, Todd? No, okay. 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 And I don't know how difficult it is to do or expense-wise, but I'd love to see like even another 1 or 2 steps to the budget process and kind of breaking the budget down and explaining that, you know, where the money goes and, you know, X number of millions of dollars into capital projects and you know, how much of a percentage goes to supporting RCMP example, that kind of thing. But no, it's fantastic, so. Councillor Messaros?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Just also to tag on to Councillor Dunham's comments, thinking about some of the programs that we have here, for instance, the rural immigration program, you could also bring in an immigrant voice actor and an immigrant character, and it would be a great way for, you know, yeah. Anyway, thanks. It's just blowing up ideas. It's wonderful.
Good points, I like that, Councillor Messaros, yeah. Okay, so we'll have somebody make a motion then to accept this as information.
I move that we accept the creative video for information.
All right, all in favor? Perfect, carried. All right, and we will move into 4.1, correspondence and information. Are we reviewing or is your team, CEO Becker, reviewing number 1 to see if there's anything that we could apply for?
We have not
Okay.
talked to Mayor Barclay, but I think there's some room, probably, the first one sticks out at me in the economic
Yes.
strength building.
Yeah. Do you need a motion for that, or just leave it with you and,
I think we can, expressing the interest, I think we can build on something and come
Yep,
back to you a
sure.
little bit more formally.
sounds good. Okay, I'll just have somebody make a motion to accept the correspondence as information, please. Councillor Wing?
Yeah, Mayor Barclay, I would make the motion to accept correspondence and information as
Perfect.
information.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, carried. We will go into roundtable discussion. We'll start with Councillor Dunham.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Last week, had the Community Standards Committee meeting on the 26th, and then on the 27th, we had the Community Economic Development Committee meeting. Both were, as usual, very interesting. A lot of things on the CSS meeting. We awarded some more grants to the community, some well-deserved initiatives, and with the economic, it was just a review of what's been happening in the community with the team, senior leadership. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, through to council. On Friday evening, I attended the Diversity Television and Magazine Awards, and it was a great evening. A small crowd. There was probably 35 or 40 people there, but it was very well put together, and we had 2 awards here that came back to Innisfil. One was for the Welcoming and Inclusiveness Committee, and Sue Haddo, one of the committee members, was there to accept that award, and then also Sherry Griffiths, who was Smith. Pardon me, I had a different Sherry on my mind. Sherry Smith, she got an award for the work that she does with the advocacy group. So I did pick up one of their publications. So I'll leave it with our communications folks here. And one of the big things that's coming up, they have the Afro-Caribbean Festival in August 12th and 13th, that I'm certain we'll get an invitation to on behalf of the town. So it was a very enjoyable evening, and met a bunch of great new people, and looking forward to the next one. Dodds Lake, it's open, the ice is gone, and yesterday there was 4 kayakers on the lake, some fishermen, so it's getting used. I just thought I'd throw that out there. In another couple of weeks, we'll have our fish planted by Lions Club and the fishing game crew. So coming up on Thursday, I'd like to thank Councillor Wing here. She's going to attend the Parkland Foundation meeting for me. I've got other commitments that day that I can't get out of, so she's going to attend that foundation meeting in the morning. I thank you, Councillor Wing, for that. So that's all I had. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Last week I attended the Napoleon West Open House last Tuesday, as well as the Innisfil Public Library Board meeting that evening. Very proud of the Innisfil community for a very well-supported event on Wednesday evening, the annual Boob Tour. Thank you to the Rehberger and King families for a job very well done. They raised some significant money for a really important cause. I'll be participating in the chamber meeting this evening. MPC for tomorrow is cancelled, and I plan on attending the local government presentation at St. Marguerite's on Wednesday morning. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And Councillor Messaros?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Last week was a little bit quiet. I did attend the Napoleon Lake South Open House, and there was good attendance there, and I thought that our team presented the information that we had in a great manner.
Councillor Bates?
So I do have a friend that keeps track of some of the real estate in town, and he informs me that there's been a price reduction on the Hazelwood land up there by $250,000, so maybe that'll move that along. I did attend one day of the hydrogen conference with the Mountain View Water Commission. Extremely interesting and bigger than one can imagine. We did spend some time with TCE Energy, and it's still premature. They're still not announcing, but it's no secret that they are working on the potential of producing and storing hydrogen at Crossfield. They also have a dedicated teams working on hydrogen in various ways. They actually have a semi-trailer. They had it at the trade show, that they can pull in, and if somebody wants to blend hydrogen with natural gas to reduce their carbon footprint or research, they can bring you a truckload of hydrogen today. Also, extremely interesting trucks, buses, cars, everything you could imagine related to hydrogen, from piping to valves to, it's a whole new industry. So it was big. Like I say, I only spent a day there, but extremely interesting. And when I came back, I did attend the Napoleon West housing, and also the boob tour. I do have a question. I received my tax notice and I noticed the education component actually went down. I was wondering if, do they ever tell us why it went down? Unless I really read it crosswise, everybody seems to have strange faces here, but it looked to me like the actual, I might have written it, oh, I did. I think the actual mill rate went down.
Yes, Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Bates. So yes, the education for residential school tax did go down. It was in the bylaw that was passed here
Yep.
a couple weeks ago. And what happens is that I take our assessment information and I put it into the school system,
And make it work.
and they tell us the rates. So I don't pick those rates. Those are given to us by the school board.
Yeah, it just seems strange. Don't see anything going down these days. Have a quiet week planned. I will attend the Historical Village meeting for Councillor Messaros. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, thank you to Councillor Harrison for attending the Diversity Magazine Awards on Friday night on behalf of the town. Appreciate that. Last week I attended the Napoleon West Open House public engagement that was at the arena. Also the Community Economic Development Advisory Group meeting. So Manager Shaw brought a few items forward. He gave us an update and work plan pertaining to the Community Economic Development Strategy. Also, there was a presentation on the Innisfail Labor Market Research Report and Northern Regional Economic Development Application Program, and that kind of works in with the Labor Market Research Report as well. There was an update on the Innisfail Energy Hub, and he gave a report on the Central Alberta Tourism Alliance Agribusiness Development Strategy, as well as there was a couple of posters in there for the Innisfail High School Career Day, which is coming up on May 17th, I believe. Yes, 17th, yes. And then May 31st is the Innisfail High School Healthcare Career Day coming up from 8:30 till about 3. And yeah, that's about what went on last week. So looking forward to the week ahead. Anybody else have anything to add? Okay, then I will ask somebody to please adjourn the meeting. Councillor Wing.
Yes, Mayor Barclay, I would move to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor? Perfect.